We are nearing UFC 326 where Max Holloway will be facing Charlie Oliveira in the main event for the BMF title, and this is an amazing matchup. I'm going to be honest though, it's like watching my mum and dad fight. I'm just going to be in the corner frightened watching two of my favourite fighters go at it for 25 minutes, but this is an amazing matchup. We've got two legends, two former champions, two completely different styles. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly why I think Max Holloway comes out on top in this fight and why I think he is the true number one contender in this lightweight division. I'm sure all aware that this is not the first time these guys have fought. They fought over 10 years ago now, and it ended in an injury with Charles Oliveira hurting his shoulder, I believe, and that led to a Max Holloway win. But from then to now, these fighters have become two of the greatest fighters of all time. Max Holloway, the most prolific striker in UFC history, far and above everyone else in significant strike numbers. And Charles Oliveira became one of the most notorious submission artists in the UFC. When he had that first child and he bleached that hair, Charles Oliveira became Charles Du Bronx Oliveira. But that brings us to present day, where you have Max Holloway, has high volume, great cardio, great durability. Oliveira, great power, great submission, and just causes chaos in his fights a lot of the time. They're always a scrap. Charles Oliveira gets knocked down, then he knocks down someone else. But I think in this matchup, Max Holloway has the tools to neutralise Oliveira's biggest weapons. Obviously, on the feet, Max Holloway has a clear edge in this fight, and it's not because Oliveira can't strike. He definitely can. He's got a KO over Michael Chandler. He knocked down Justin Gaethje in his fight when he got to his back and submitted. He's got great power and great striking. He can knock out people, but Holloway's style is just a nightmare for him in this fight. Holloway's pace and volume, it's so high. He doesn't let you breathe when you fight him. He's always throwing out strikes from a long range as well. He uses feints and avoids KO exchanges that Oliveira likes to be in. He likes to be in the scrap, in close. And yes, that has led to him getting knocked out in some fights, like against Ilia Topuria, but it's also why he's hurt just about every single person he's fought in his career. But as we know, Max Holloway has one of the best chins in the UFC by far. He's only ever been knocked out by one person, and that's Ilia Topuria, and he does that to everyone. But even in that fight, it wasn't just one bomb he threw over that he just knocked him out clean cold like he's done to Volk and Charles. It was a combination of strikes that led to the KO. He rocked him hard about 30 seconds before that, kept the pressure on, threw another one, and it still wasn't like Max Holloway was just dead on the ground, just slimed out. He was still able to get his hands up, but obviously got ground and pounded and finished in that fight. But you don't just put Holloway out on the feet. Yes, he's not as durable as he has been in the past. He has been knocked down in his last three fights, but I just don't think Oliveira has the high volume of heavy strikes to knock out Max Holloway in this strike. I think he will hurt him in exchanges, but I think Holloway's chin and defensive ability will make it hard for Du Bronx to land the kind of shot that just changes this fight. But that does bring us on to the main question, the grappling. Will Max Holloway be able to defend the takedowns? And if he does get taken down by Oliveira, can he get back up? And it's a fair question. Oliveira is one of the most decorated submission artists in UFC history, but Max Holloway has a very underrated takedown defense. I think he has a takedown defense of 88% or something in the UFC, and that's a lot of fights. So Max Holloway is very difficult to take down. Ilia Topuria wasn't able to have any success on the ground against him. And Charles Oliveira is not necessarily known for being the best wrestler and getting takedowns. I think he has a below 50% takedown success rate. And where he does his best work is when he gets dropped a lot of the times and they engage in the grappling with him, or they just engage with the grappling on the feet and they try and take him down. And that's where Charles Oliveira does his best work, where he can outwork them on the ground, put them in awkward positions and find the back, get the hooks in and lock up a rear naked choke. So I don't think Max Holloway is going to engage in the grappling with Charles Oliveira at all in this fight, which leads to two things. Either Charles Oliveira is going to have to shoot takedowns and risk getting caught with a knee or just a punch when he enters the takedown, or he's going to be forced into a striking matchup, and that's where Max Holloway has the edge in this fight, where he's going to have high volume, he's going to push the pace, and it's really going to test Charles Oliveira's cardio in this fight. He's never really been into deep waters in a 5-round fight. Normally, he finishes them, or he gets finished himself. In the Michael Chandler fight, he won the first 4 rounds dominantly. In the 5th round, yes, there was some strikes to the back of the head, but he did lose that 5th round against Michael Chandler, and he did get dropped. And it was very close to that fight being stopped, with Michael Chandler coming out on top and winning that fight, which it would have been crazy. So I think his cardio will be tested in this fight if it goes a long way, just because of his pace and pressure that Max Holloway applies in the striking. So the way I think this fight goes, if Holloway wins it, is that he survives the early danger from Charles Oliveira, like getting in close, throwing some tough strikes. He will be shooting takedowns, there's no doubt in that. He shot 3 against Ilia Topuria. And if he can defend those, I think Oliveira will be forced into a striking matchup, and his volume, his body shots and his pressure, tiring out Charles Oliveira in this fight, breaking him down, and I think we could see Max Holloway getting a late finish in this fight, maybe round 4 or 5, or just winning a rather dominant decision. But I'm definitely not writing off Charles Oliveira in this fight because he just knows how to win fights. He knows how to finish fights. That's why he has 36 wins and the most finishes in UFC history. If he has a chance to finish it, he will. And when he does get stunned, when he does get dropped, he normally locks in and just fights better, as we saw in the Gaethje fight, as we saw in the Michael Chandler fight. When he does get stunned a bit, a switch flips and he just locks in. So there is definitely a world where Charles Oliveira drops Holloway and jumps on top of him and locks up a submission, but I just don't think it's going to happen in this fight. And I think Holloway's pressure, his power, his chin, his cardio will be too much for Charles Oliveira in this fight, and I think he will have the advantage and win it and show why I think he is the best contender in this division and gives Ilia Topuria the hardest fight at 155, and I'd love to see that fight be run back at 155. But drop your predictions in the comments. Let me know what you think of this breakdown. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and I hope you guys really enjoy watching this fight as much as I know I will. There'll also be a part of me like, damn, one of these guys is going to lose, and after this loss, they're probably way too far out of the title picture to ever see him fighting for it again, which would be sad. But this fight's going to be a banger, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.